Okay, so we had a guest speaker for our meetup, Indie Hackers Barcelona. So a community of entrepreneurs that meet up and talk about stuff. But this guest speaker couldn't come. He had an emergency. So I had to come up with a presentation myself last minute. So that's what I came up with. I hope you guys like it.
As you guys know, this wasn't a scheduled presentation, so I prepared something this morning about something that happened to me right when I quit my full-time job. So yeah, that's the headline. That's the clickbait. Okay, so this was in 2022. I was 26 years old. I had studied computer science or computer engineering. I did a master's in AI. And I started working, so it had been already like 3-4 years I was working full time as a software engineer, but always the dream was entrepreneurship. So I always had it in mind. I was like, I would love, like at the beginning when you're younger, your idol is Mark Zuckerberg, not anymore, as Smart Blue was saying as well. But still, I wasn't like, I never like did a product and try to sell it. So it was always at the back of my mind. I was like, okay, one day you're gonna do it. You're always waiting for the right moment. But then that year, especially on summer, I found the website indiehackers.com. So I saw all the stories about the people like doing like a shipping project all alone, just having leaving their jobs as well, and just being successful at entrepreneurship, but on their own terms and on their own rooms, right? So I started following them on Twitter. In my case, it wasn't Peter level. It was like this guy that inspired me a lot, like Tony Dean. He was doing stuff of Twitter. He was like doing a lot of like stuff for developers. Then there was this guy as well that he's not like active anymore, but also he had like a Twitter tool. It was a scheduler right before like all the like Type 40, Tweet Hunter, all those. And this guy as well, a French entrepreneur, that he was doing like Shopify apps. It resonated with me. I don't care about Shopify at all, but just like seeing like how he did it, like the plugins, etc., etc., was like really inspiring. So after knowing that, I started also posting on Twitter, testing ideas. I had like little projects to make it more fun. And then one day, since I was looking for clients for my own tool, I just made a script that was using the Twitter API and just taking keywords and finding accounts and then trying to message them manually, right? And I was like, okay, since I need the script, I will share it on Twitter. And I had like 900 followers, but 600 were like from my past life, or like from having a Twitter account, just being there. So it was like really like 300 people that were actually indie hackers or entrepreneurs, and it got like, for that proportion, it was like 135 replies, so people that wanted the script. So I was like, okay, that might be something, right? So it stuck at the back of my mind, and I kept like testing stuff. And then also I saw one friend of mine from Twitter as well, an Italian guy, that had already a tool, and then he said, I want to build something else, but I don't want to build all the MVP. I don't want to spend like 2 months building the tool. So I'm gonna see if people are interested. So he made a landing page of what this tool would do, what this product would do, and then he said, okay, this is not built, it's not ready yet, but if you guys want, you pay for a lifetime deal, and once I release this app, you're gonna have like a lifetime access to it and no limitations, etc. So it was like a bit like a compromise, right? You pay to finance that I build this product, and then you're gonna get access forever. And this was inspiration for me, right? So then I connected the dots between the script that I made, pre-sales, selling lifetime deals before building. And I was like, okay, maybe I could try something like this. So also, as I said, I was testing stuff, right, on Twitter, so I was comfortable with like the Twitter API. So basically I did something called Tweet Thief, that what it did was basically you could, yeah. So I launched it on Product Hunt. We're gonna see the video actually, and basically it was a way to see the top tweets of each person. right? So then you put an account and it's sorted it by the likes, by the retweets, etc. So I did this promo video as well for Product Hunt. It worked very well. Just a stupid video and that's it. And that's it. And this worked as well. So all these little signals made me like, also because it got like a lot of visitors to feed and stuff. So I was like, okay, let's try something. 8 products of the day, which for the first launch it was pretty okay. So then it came back to like tweet niche. I called it tweet niche. So the headline was pretty generic, pretty simple, like find clients for your startup on Twitter, right? Because also one of the hypotheses, the premises was that when you cold email someone, if they spam you, your account, like the email is on spam, right? On Instagram, if you message someone that is really famous, it goes on the request, so they don't see directly. But on Twitter, it wasn't that clear, right? Because if you had people that in common that you follow or that they follow you, you landed directly in the main inbox, and then obviously they could block you, but it was easier to reach out to people, right? So I was like, okay, we can use that to find clients, and then it might be easier for like businesses to reach out to their potential clients, right? So that's why it was all connecting with keywords, with finding clients on Twitter, etc. So I was like, okay, let's try this idea. And again, it was the same idea as my friend that did with his tool. So it wasn't built yet. So I went on Figma. I did some like dashboards of what I think it could look like. So basically just like filters, trying to find accounts by keyword, by niche, being able to find like people that you never messaged before, so that you make sure that you don't reach out to the same person again and again, and just like exporting accounts. The part of messaging them, it wasn't there yet, but still like people seemed pretty interested. So what was the offer, right, to make it attractive? So basically I was selling it for a week at $35 to create a bit like the scarcity, like that it's not available forever. And then after 1 week I would increase it to 60 to 69. Funny number, but it was almost a double. So how did I do to promote that? So I just basically tweeted every single day about like tweet niche, tweeting about like what it does, and then also like tweeting about like when I get the first customers, because that's like a bit the flywheel thing, no? If people see that you get customers, they're like, oh, maybe I'm interested in that, and you get more customers, right? So, and then at the end of the week, to like kind of celebrate the price change, I also launched on Product Hunt. This one went very well as well. Another funny video. I used my uncle. I asked my uncle to be on the video. He doesn't speak English, so then I told him what to do. I said basically, yeah, I'm gonna say. What the fuck? Yeah, again the same template, right? And this also worked pretty well considering. So then after this, I got like second product of the day, and this happened, right? So in just 1 week of promotion, I reached this like 2,700, more than 2,700 on pre-sales, which was mind blowing to me, right? I didn't build anything yet, and people was interested, so I was like, okay, let's go for it, right? So the breakdown of that was like more or less like this. So it was 54 early users. The first users, they came just for the first week of promoting and stuff. Then on the Product Hunt launch, it's true that it's just 1 day, so it's like it's a lot, 12 users per 1 day. But then like post Product Hunt, talking about how I reached the second spot, like talking about how the early users that I got before, it's where it brought like the most volume of users. So then it was time to build it, because people they were waiting. So after 1 month, I built what I thought tweet niche had to be. Right? So it was pretty similar, all was pretty similar to this, right? So you're filtering accounts by keywords. Also, you could see, like, for example, the followers of a person and apply a keyword, right? And then you could export it, etc., right? But in my opinion, it was very limited. But I was like, okay, maybe it sticks to the headline, right? Find customers by keywords, etc., or what the landing page was saying, right? So maybe the early users, they will be happy. Spoiler, no. So first of all, 85% of the early users, they didn't even sign up, not because they were interested, just because they forgot that they want this. And then from the ones that they sign up, they didn't understand anything, and it wasn't like, even like, they said like it was pretty raw, like they had nothing. Like this guy said, I'll unsubscribe again, because some of them, since I switched to subscriptions after I built it, some of them they were already paying monthly, and they're like, I'm not gonna pay monthly for something that doesn't work, right? So I was like, okay, time to iterate. This is a stock image, sorry, but I didn't have a picture of myself on a video call. So I talked to the users that wanted, and I said, okay, what's missing? What were you expecting, right, from Niche? And there was especially one guy that really like blew my mind. He told me what he was doing to find clients, and he was doing it on Twitter. How he was doing it manually. So basically, he was finding like people in the same niche using the recommendations of Twitter, but also trying to find people with a lot of people in common with him, right? With a lot of like followers in common, because then it was very likely that these people, they saw his tweets. So then when he DM'd them, it wasn't that weird, and the people were like, they were very responsive. They were like really open to like go on a call and even like buy from him, right? So I was like, okay, I think we can find something like this. I think we can do that, because as we said, the Twitter API is free, so I can just take all this data and just put it, aggregate it, and find a way for you to get the best clients, right? So I did that. So I calculated something that on LinkedIn is very useful, is the connections, right? You know, if someone is the first connection, it means that is in your network. Second connection is that there is someone in the middle, right? There is someone of your connection that they also have, and then third connection, etc., etc. So I did the same for Twitter, right? So every time that someone was registering on TweetNiche, I was computing all their followers and following, and then I was following the tree to calculate these connections, right? And this gave people a bit like the idea of who they could reach out, because if they were in their, close to their network, as I said, it was more likely that they would reply and that they would be able to sell to them. And then also I did something a bit dangerous, but it was possible. So basically create a campaign. You found some accounts, and then automatically you could just message them, right? And it was evergreen, which means that until eternity, until you run out of these accounts. So now it was starting to take shape, right? Because it was something like, it was a bit like outreach platform, but on Twitter. And also you could follow them as well if you want to first follow them and then message them, right? So now the feedback was good, right? This guy, he subscribed, he unsubscribed, and then I said, look, check this out. He subscribed again, and he said, no, that was good, right? But it didn't really matter, because look at the dates, right? This guy sent me a message. Me, I saw it later. It was March 26th, right? And the news, they were March 10th, so it was even before, right? So I released, he tried, I saw this news, and then he said, "Wow, it's crazy." And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't really matter, because everything that was free for me to use, all this information about the followers, the accounts, search, keywords, whatever, instead of being free, now it will be $42,000 per month. So $500,000 per year. So obviously, for me it was impossible, but for almost everybody it was impossible to continue, because the whole purpose of this platform was that it was on Twitter, so I needed Twitter data. And I couldn't start scraping because, first of all, I didn't have the experience, and I didn't want to like get on this like journey of like trying to avoid that Twitter finds out that I'm scraping, right? I wasn't the only one. Even my inspiration at the beginning, he had also a Twitter tool, and he had to sell because he couldn't cover the cost. I think he was at 16,000. Yeah, okay, 14,000 MRR. So every month he got this, but it wasn't enough because there was the expense of 42,000 per month. So if he had sold like some months before the announcement, he would have sold it for like 500,000. But now he had to sell it for like 128k. So it was even less than what he was doing in a year with that tool. I was pretty awful. In my case, I was like, okay, I don't have revenue, but there is still like an MVP. Maybe someone wants it, someone that will pay for the Twitter API. So I put it on Acquire, and in the end, I got contacted by a guy that was a Twitter employee, but he didn't tell me, and he wanted to get free access to the API illegally, and then he would buy my stuff. But in the end, we couldn't find a way. So
But why did he need that?
because he wanted like a SaaS for himself.
Okay.
So but it was pretty risky because he could risk his like his amazing job just for a tool that wasn't making any
No,
money.
but it would have been the only Twitter-based SaaS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
the
so.
whole market for you.
Yeah.
There are a
So
few that pay. No? There are a few tools that
yes, yeah. So the Twitter tools that were like this, but there were some, as you said, that they capitalize on that. So there are like a couple of them. Even there is one called Thankfully, maybe some of you know it. Then they didn't make enough money to pay for the API, but they got investment, and now they're one of the only tools that are left. So a lot of people there and there.
Isn't there one also called SuperX or something?
Sorry?
Like people or I don't know.
Yeah, Tweet Hunter as well.
Yeah.
But they were making already more. So they're making 1 million per year, but now it decreased to 500,000, but still it's profit, so it was fine. But yeah.
There is also a guy, he's pretty young, I think Jack Rich or something.
Yes.
He created Post Bridge.
Yes, yeah.
How is he doing?
I don't know.
He
I
posts
don't know.
everywhere, like in Instagram, LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Twitter.
What he's doing, sorry, is a tool to...
A tool to post everywhere, like you
Ah.
create one post and it just like sends
Yeah.
it everywhere.
Like a
It's
scheduler
working
but
really
for
well.
everything, yeah.
It's blowing, like he's selling it for so much.
also adapted.
Yeah. He reached 10k
I don't know how
It's
he's
like-
doing it with the API, it's so expensive. Maybe he's doing it like automation, like you know, like in the
Probably,
browser or
yeah.
something.
But also they released new
He
APIs.
also changed.
So this was because it was exactly when Elon Musk like got Twitter.
Yeah.
So then it was like, I need to make money, but now there is one at 5,000, which is very, very limited, but I think you can find a way around to do
Yeah.
something, and there is some free stuff. I think you have like some, if you log in with Twitter, then you get like some posts per month for free. So then maybe he plays with that and then some like scraping stuff, yeah.
And can't you do the same tool, for example, another, like LinkedIn, for example?
I thought about it. I thought about it, but I was like, I don't know if it's the destiny, you know. I don't know. One of the lessons that I learned, which is in the conclusion, is that
Yes.
don't rely only on one platform.
Yeah, platform is this.
Yeah.
risky.
Which is now it's a bit the same, you know, with AI because a lot of people they just rely on OpenAI. But since now there are new models, it feels like you have more the choice.
Yeah.
With Twitter here, it was like really, it was called like tweet niche, so it was like really on Twitter, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's true, that's true.
yeah.
And that's why we are, I mean, my company, we are making a lot of money
Yeah.
because companies have started understanding that they cannot depend on only one cloud provider, no? Could be BigQuery, Azure, whatever, because they could change the policy, no?
Yeah.
So now everyone wants like their own cluster, and I mean, it's just a link to
Yeah,
what
no,
I'm saying. It's not
that's
just
what I'm
about
saying, yeah.
social media, it's about everything. No? People want the freedom to, I mean, people want to know that what they have will still be there, you know,
Yes.
the same state, also in 10 years if possible.
Yeah. No, yeah, some people they told me, look, move to LinkedIn or move to Reddit even. But after just like 2 months after this happened with Twitter, with Reddit too, in the end it wasn't true
Yeah,
because
That's
they
same
didn't want to like increase that much the price, but still it's the same, you know. You transition to Reddit and then all of a sudden you're fine with the
There's
same.
too much cost up front.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, on to other things. So then I moved on. So after a while, I ran another pre-sale for something else, called Black Blocks. Very unfortunate because I realized some days after I got the domain that it was like a mob. Or in France, is a mob like a radical movement. So I was like, okay, what? It's free, it's free this domain. Why? I don't know. What? Okay. So yeah, these it was another lesson. It went pretty well as well the pre-sale, but after it was a bit linked with niche, right? With the first version, is that I was over-promising what it could be the platform, and in the end, it didn't live up to the expectations of the users. So then I prefer to shut it down than being in the loop of being no, it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough. And then on to other things, I became a bootcamp teacher. Actually, that was pretty cool to public speaking, even if you went online. And so it helped me to teach concepts that I know, but I didn't know how to explain. And then also I started my agency as I explained at the beginning. And now we're trying some other projects. Oh yeah. So yeah, the conclusions, something that we said right now, no? Not depend on only one platform. So platform risk is very real. So that's something that I have in my mind always. Then something really funny. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be fully communication mode, so every time that someone was buying a lifetime access, a pre-sale of Twitch, I was sending them a message with Zapier saying, okay, if you want, you can join this Slack channel, we're gonna all talk there, it's gonna be fine, we're gonna shape the product, right? It was a good idea, but then, since I was on shipping mode, launching mode, I wasn't communicating that often. So users started to panic. Only one user started to panic, and he put it in the main channel. He said, "Yeah, you scammed us. What the fuck?" And then it was panic. Everybody was like, "Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's scamming." I was like, "Okay, no, I'm building." So I think it's important communication, but maybe I prefer not to centralize it where everybody can say stuff, right? And yeah, keep talking to users. That's a mantra for everybody, but we don't do it enough. It's important, because then, maybe the first version it would have been a bit better if I talked more to users, and then the second version even better. So yeah, that's the conclusions. And yeah, questions. Thank you guys.
So that was it. The guys really loved it. So after we just had some questions, and then we got obviously the traditional dish of the Indie Hackers meetup, which is pizza.